Welcome to Jobs and Pods, the only podcast where you can hear real employers talk about their jobs and reveal what it's like to work there. I'm your host, Chris Russell. This is a college recruiting jobcast featuring auditor jobs at St. Louis-based Nestle Purina. They are a leader in the pet care industry and are seeking motivated individuals to join their team. Today we'll be speaking with David Israel, who started as an intern and is now with Nestle Purina full-time as an advanced staff internal auditor. David, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So, David, describe, if you can, your role as an international advanced staff auditor.
Yeah. Well, here at Nestle, as an auditor, you're going to do operational audits for all Nestle operating companies in the North America region, which includes Canada. And the focus of your audits is, number one, to drive efficiency through internal controls, and then also add value through operating efficiency findings.
So you're dealing with a lot of numbers then, I assume.
Yeah. So
David, what led you to choose a career with Nestle Purina?
Well, what sparked my interest was the international opportunities that Nestle gives, but it was the culture that I experienced when I actually started working here that caused me to return for full-time.
What do you think sets Nestle Purina apart from its competitors in terms of benefits and culture?
Well, specifically to audit, it's extremely difficult to find a work-life balance, and that's something that Nestle Purina stresses, and I'm very appreciative of that. And the overall culture is something that I've grown quite fond of. It's very warm, open to questions, and everyone's just very approachable.
Yeah. What makes a successful auditor, in your opinion? What are the skills and traits you need to have to really succeed in a position like this?
I'd say for traits, it's a thirst for knowledge is key. You're going to be working on new projects on every audit, so there's going to be things that you're not necessarily comfortable with. But as long as you have a thirst for knowledge, you're going to be okay. And then also confidence. Confidence is really key. You're going to be dealing with upper management, and in those meetings, you can get uncomfortable. But just hold your ground, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Is that one of the challenges of the role in terms of how you deal with the internal management as it relates to an audit, for example?
Oh, definitely. That was something that was probably the biggest transition for me coming out of college. That environment is very disconnected between you and the professor. With this, it's very hands-on, and but you've got people here to help you, and you'll be fine. It just takes a little getting used to.
Gotcha. What do you think are the kind of skills that you can learn in a role like this?
It almost sounds cliche, but it's hard to find one that you won't enhance through this job. But I think for me personally, the greatest skill I've gained thus far is making airtight arguments. So getting this data analysis and looking at policies, whatever it is that I'm trying to speak to, just making sure that argument is okay from top to bottom.
Right. That's interesting. Tell me, what's the career path like for an auditor? Where can you go from here?
Really anywhere. Management views this as a training camp for upper management. So for me personally, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do long term. So this job provides me the opportunity to see the company and see all types of positions and kind of find what my niche might be. If you actually have a specific goal, then this is just fun as well.
Now, coming out of school, David, what kind of degree did you have? Was it in accounting and finance, or?
No, actually, it's I did theoretical economics.
Oh, really? Okay. So tell me about some of the exciting projects you've worked on in the past.
I'd say probably the one I'm working on right now has been the most exciting. I'm working on the North American piece of a global audit of capital projects for all of Nestle's operating companies. And it's unfortunately, we can't really go into too much detail, but I do get quite a bit, and it's really exciting.
David, as you transition from a college student into a full-time employee, how did Nestle Purina support your transition in that respect?
Well, for me personally, it really wasn't an issue because I had the internship. But for anyone that's coming on board fresh out of college, they have a week of training that gives you the lowdown on Nestle as a whole, and then how our department operates. And then there's also courses that you can take through online or on-site, and you'll be completely ready to work.
Do you have any sort of last words of advice for someone who might be interested in applying to an auditor job?
I'd say just get excited. It really is a fun job. A lot of the descriptions may not be as enticing as maybe a marketing job or something like that. But once you actually get your hands on, it's fantastic.
All right, well, that will do for this edition of Jobs and Pods. David, thank you very much for joining us today. Great information.
Appreciate you having me.
To apply for auditor jobs with Nestle Purina, please visit nestlepurinacareers.com. We'll also place a link to their webpage from the Jobs and Pods site under this podcast. And for more jobcasts like this, visit jobsandpods.com. And don't forget you can subscribe to our Jobcast on iTunes. Just do a keyword search for Jobs and Pods. Thanks for listening.